The children of the world deserve better. It's Harmless Phosphorescence. Hello, everybody. I am Thoreau Smiley, one of your hosts of Harmless Phosphorescence, and I am joined today by
Josh Cece, and you know that's the way I create.
Brian Lesh, the first random American tourist you run into in Istanbul.
Alaric Weber, vulture of the southwestern world.
And this week, we are heading back in time all the way to August 7th, 1981. That year that the first space shuttle launched, David Hinckley impressed the hell out of Jodie Foster. Princess Di married Prince Charles. The top TV shows were Dallas, 60 Minutes, The Jeffersons, and our very own Hero at Large, Three's Company. The top songs were Betty Davis Eyes, Endless Love by Diana Ross and Lionel Richie, Lady by Kenny Rogers, Just Like Starting Over by the John Lennon, who also
By the John Lennon.
by the previously alive John Lennon, Jesse's Girl, and the top movies of the year were Raiders of the Lost Ark, 9 to 5 Stripes, and Superman 2, which, so, okay, we had called that as 1980 last week.
Yeah.
Apparently it was released December 7th, 1980 in Australia and Europe. So it's considered a 1980 film, but it was released in America in 1981.
Huh, okay.
So
Why did Australia get it first?
It's just a time zone issue. That's just how time works. On
Okay. Yeah, of course.
They saw it 11 hours before everybody else.
and also that year, again, August 7th, 1981, a little film, Disney's very first superhero movie, Condorman.
Who can save Princess Juliet? Held captive by the evil Count Lorca. Who can save the city? Who?
Have you seen this report on this Condorman, on this man Wilkins? He's an amateur, do you hear? He is not an agent of the CIA. He is a writer of comic books.
Find out who has been using the code name Condorman.
But how can we escape? Fly?
I'm sorry I had to get so violent. But it was the only language they understood.
So, Condorman. Written by Mark Sturtevant and Mickey Rose. Mickey Rose, who went to college with and was originally writing partners with Mr. Alan Stewart Koenigsberg, who you may know as Woody Allen. He collaborated on Allen's comedies Take the Money and Run and Bananas. At some point in the late 60s, they ceased working together, and Rose went to write for All in the Family and the Smothers Brothers. Mark Sturtevant went on to become an assistant director on Steve Martin's Mixed Nuts and the television show Frasier. His only other writing credit was 1977's Beretta. This was directed by Charles Jarrett. Best known for directing Anne of the Thousand Days, for which he won a Golden Globe. He also directed Mary Queen of Scots and Lost Horizon. This was a really kind of like by-the-numbers studio picture.
Yeah.
This was not anyone's passion project. But and you couldn't tell.
Well, a couple of prop guys, I'm sure they they enjoyed
They were into it. Condorman was based on the novel The Game of X by Robert Sheckley. It was published in 1965. Sheckley, the prolific award-winning sci-fi writer, also wrote several Star Trek and Babylon 5 novels. He was considered a humorist as much as a science fiction writer, and his novel Dimension of Miracles is considered a direct influence on the Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy series. His novel Immortality, Inc., about a world in which the afterlife could be obtained via a scientific process, was used to adapt into a film in 1992 called Free Jack. Starring Mr. Mick Jagger.
Wow.
He was more of a co-star.
Yeah, well, yeah, he starred alongside Free Jack.
Emilio Estevez, man.
I know. Mr. Free Jack.
Mr. Free Jack himself.
Free Jack Sheen. This film was a little more racy than Disney normally produced at the time. I mean, I guess compared to Herbie the Love Bug.
Yeah.
Then President Ron Miller said the Barbara Carrera character was the sexiest in Disney's history.
Oh, man.
Yeah.
That's what the kids need.
I still say Snow White.
Yeah. Cruella de Vil.
Yeah. Ooh.
Yeah. Condorman was filmed on location in Paris, Monte Carlo, and Zermatt, Switzerland, and in England at Pinewood Studios. The film's special effects...
Where they shot much of Superman 1 and 2.
Exactly, yes.
Interesting.
The film's special effects were directed by Colin Chilvers, who previously worked on the first 2 Superman films, starring Christopher Reeve. The effects were filmed at the location also used by Chilvers for the Superman films, Pinewood Studios, using the same facilities, which meant efficiency for Chilvers to create the effects he desired, reusing the equipment from Superman and adapting it for Condorman. They wore the same harness to fly.
Wow. Man, how did they screw that up?
Right.
Yeah. Starring Michael Crawford as Woodrow Woody Wilkins, best known for playing Frank Spencer in a popular 1970s sitcom titled Some Mothers Do Have 'Em.
Have what?
Exactly. M.
Which first made him a household name, I have to assume, in England.
I feel like I'm not in on this joke. I need to look this up.
I feel like I'm
missed
not part of a household.
Wow.
As well. Yeah, as for originating the title role in The Phantom of the Opera, he was the first Phantom. His performance in the latter musical drama earned him both the Tony Award for Best Actor in a Musical and the Sir Laurence Olivier Award for Best Actor in a Musical. He was cast by Richard Lester, director of Superman 2.
So it was a dick move.
It was a dick move. In The Knack and How to Get It, the film adaptation of Stephen Sondheim's musical, A Funny Thing Happened on the Way to the Forum, and How I Won the War, which was...
John Lennon was in it.
John Lennon, who, as we heard, was previously alive.
Yes.
On Broadway, he was noticed by Gene Kelly and was called to Hollywood to audition for him for a part in the film adaptation of the musical Hello, Dolly. He was cast and shared top billing with Barbra Streisand and Walter Matthau.
Wow.
Yeah, so...
Squad goals.
Right. It starred Barbara Carrera as Natalia Rambova. Born Barbara Kingsbury. She was a Nicaraguan American film and television actress and former model. She's known for her roles as Spectre assassin Fatima Blush. And to be fair, I mean, Fatima Bush is also...
Fatima Bush.
is also something that a Bond girl would be named. And Never Say Never Again as Maria in The Island of Dr. Moreau and as Angelica Nero in the soap opera Dallas. Later, she appeared in that 70s show as Barbara. It also starred Robert Oliver Reed as Krokov. He was an English actor known for his upper middle class macho image and Hellraiser lifestyle.
Upper middle class macho? That's a thing?
Apparently.
Middle dick energy.
Average dick energy.
Yeah. I can pay the bills.
He played Bill Sykes in the Best Picture Oscar winner Oliver! Exclamation point. Women in Love, Hannibal Brooks, The Devils, and he portrayed Athos in The Three Musketeers, which was produced by the Selkins.
And directed by Donner, right? No, Lester.
Richard Lester, yeah. He was in The Who's Tommy, Lion of the Desert, and I think ELO's Lion of the Desert in Castaway. He appeared in The Adventures of Baron Munchausen, Funny Bones, and Gladiator.
He was Vulcan in Baron Munchausen.
Oh yeah.
Oh,
yes,
okay, yeah.
He was Uma Thurman's husband.
Wow. Poor Uma Thurman.
Well, you know, poor Aphrodite
Yeah.
or Venus. If we're going with the Roman mythology.
Yeah. He's best. Also, James Hampton starred as Harry. He's best known as the dad from Teen Wolf.
Teen Wolf.
Okay, but I want to talk about James Hampton
Teen Wolf 2.
for a second.
Oh, yes, Teen Wolf 2. He was also Teen Wolf, the animated series.
Yes,
the
that's
voice
right.
in that. But
I remember the theme song, Teen Wolf coming out to play.
James Hampton was in a lot that I never watched from previous eras, but in the 80s he was a force to be reckoned with. A phenom of guest star appearances.
The Michael Jordan of guest star appearances in the 1980s.
Exactly. First off, of a movie that I forgot about, not in the 80s, in 78, The Cat from Outer Space.
Oh, yeah.
He was in that. Teen Wolf. Okay, so he had appearances in The Greatest American Hero, Who's the Boss, Simon and Simon, Murder, She Wrote, Crazy Like a Fox, Punky Brewster, Police Academy 5, Days of Our Lives, Mama's Family, Perfect Strangers, Newhart, Full House, Pump Up the Volume, Melrose Place, and Get a Life.
Woo!
Wow.
Man.
That man worked.
Yes.
Yeah. That's Stephen Topolowski status.
Yeah, right. Wow. So,
And Brian recognized half of those names.
Yeah. No, I was only alive for a third of them.
that's James Hampton as Harry. That is all I really have to say about Condorman. There's not much to see except a little known duo called Siskel and Ebert reviewed it.
I must say I wasn't particularly thrilled by the sight of him in that uniform. Also, when he actually flies, you can see the wires. Of
course you can.
The film has plenty of action scenes, as you can see, but they are so strong, they really overpower the characters, and Condorman ends up lacking a heart, I think. Not enough care, not enough development given to the Condorman or to the woman he loves. That's too bad. This could have been a cute movie.
It could have been a cute movie. Michael Crawford is kind of charming as Condorman. There's some good stuff in the film, but on the other hand, when you see a film like this from Disney, they always seem to be about 2 years late and about 2 beats slow in the comedy. And you're identifying all their sources. You have Arabs, explosions, spies, the CIA, chase scenes. It's all put together out of other movies. The chase scenes, for example, the one down the mountain road reminded me of this summer's James Bond movie. And when the car turns into a boat, that was 2 summers ago's James Bond movie. There's nothing really new and no attention to making the characters funny.
I want to get back to the wires.
Okay.
Because it's not a small matter. I think if you're going to show in an adventure film a comic book hero who can fly, like that guy can fly, then you don't show the wires. That's the minimum you owe to the audience. If Disney people felt that the kids won't notice, the kids will notice every time.
That's the first thing a kid will notice.
That's the first thing I look for. I look right at the top of the screen.
How are they flying? Right.
Can I see the wires? And right there are at least 3 of them. It's ridiculous.
You know, it's almost as if Disney tries to do what other people are doing and just kind of misses. Like the black hole wasn't quite Star Wars.
Right.
This is not quite James Bond. It's sort of like a generic version of the same thing.
I can see the stamping on it. Adventure movie, 1 unit, you know, that kind of thing.
It's too bad. It's a miss.
Yep.
It's got nice stuff, but it's a miss. We agree on Condorman, the Disney Studio's secret agent spoof. 2 no votes because despite its sometimes high spirits, the hero never was made into a truly comic character, and you could see those wires.
So, yes, Siskel and Ebert, prior to Thumbs, did not like Condorman. And Siskel was really pissed about the wires.
2 no's.
Yeah.
So, you guys ready to jump on in here?
Let's do it.
We open with an animated credit sequence with an animated Condorman interacting with the real world, specifically Paris.
This was the movie's peak, I think.
Yeah.
Right away. Again, the second superhero movie in such a short amount of time where it starts in Paris.
Yeah.
There's something going amok in Paris.
Yeah, what was up with Paris in the late 70s?
Just reaffirming how we always have to save France all the time.
He mentioned Superman once or twice. They must...
Yeah. I mean, it was definitely in the zeitgeist at the time.
He said Superman has
the Big
New
Apple.
York, the Big Apple.
The Big Apple
unlocked,
all wrapped up. Yeah.
Right. So no Metropolis.
Yeah, right. Hey, yeah.
Though Superman exists there.
But Condorman, he's international.
Yes, Condorman's got to be international.
He's continental.
Yeah, continental, definitely.
Can I give you... So during the titles, they show that emblem. Did that emblem not have a real Nazi sort of vibe?
Yeah.
Like with the Iron Eagle.
But it was
yeah.
kind of awesome at the same time. Just the animation quality of it was like, they spent a lot of money making that look that way.
Oh,
Yeah.
Yeah,
It wasn't arbitrary. But it just reminded me.
They should have
just right off the
spent
bat.
some of that money somewhere else and just had a weaker logo.
Well, and we start off on this really weird vibe where it's like kind of comic, but also like, I don't know, the comedy just was not hitting properly.
He was like Don Quixote at the very beginning. He's like shouting to the people of Paris. And his CIA buddy is like, you're just a guy, you write comic books. He's like, I have to test this stuff.
Right.
Yeah.
What?
But yeah, and the way, and even earlier where the Condorman logo like falls down.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It falls on the little animated Condorman's foot and then just straight up topples over onto him.
They were trying to do a Pink Panther opening titles kind of vibe.
Which, did you guys notice? Music by Henry Mancini.
Yes.
Oh,
yeah. Oh, yes.
Henry
Yes.
Mancini. And then somebody did it earlier, but like the cartoon character Condorman literally does the goofy laugh from just yeah, and then
that was a straight clip from one of the Goofy cartoons.
Yeah,
most of them just
pulling from the library.
Yeah, exactly.
Well, and then later on they talk about Donald Duck, which I thought was the best line in the movie.
Right.
Donald's not a real duck, sir.
Well, Donald Duck, Popeye, and Superman all in one go.
Right, but he calls out the duck.
Oh yeah. No, it had a real Disney's 70s live action vibe, like Love Bug,
Escape from
Witch Mountain. That one.
Yeah. So in the opening scene, we meet Woodrow Woody Wilkins, an imaginative yet eccentric comic book writer and illustrator who demands a sense of realism for his comic book hero Condorman, to the point where he crafts a Condorman flying suit of his own and launches himself off the Eiffel Tower with the help of his friend Harry.
And then he dies and the movie's over, you guys.
Yeah.
It's really short.
It totally does.
The test flight fails as his right wing breaks, sending him crashing into the Seine River.
And why was he doing this in the first place? Why was he testing his...
It's part of his artistic process. It demanded realism.
He knew the kids would know.
If he couldn't do it in real life, then Condorman was a phony.
Which, to Siskel's point, you can see the wires, man. Exactly. You're not fooling anybody, Condorman.
He's told by Harry, a CIA file clerk, that he goes too far in pursuit of his realism.
I am calm. I am calm.
That was a weird read on that line.
Did anyone else feel like his voice was dubbed? It was not.
Yeah.
No, but like
it felt out of place.
Like someone else was doing that dude's voice.
It seemed like Bert Convy was doing that dude's voice.
He was just having an out-of-body experience the entire time they filmed. He was just like...
No, the entire time, like, I'm Condorman.
Right, and I'm not testing this out so I can be a superhero. It's to give credibility to my funny book. I almost died.
But that's fine.
Yeah.
Now I can draw it.
Now finally I can.
At CIA headquarters, Harry's boss leaves Harry in charge, which is a bad idea.
I don't mean to drop it again, but there was a star wipe, and then there was another wipe that went like this. Like there were some wild scene transitions.
Well, and the
like
car
it was Batman
driving away from Harry, and he's running after the car. That was probably an expensive setup and everything. Like they had a track probably out.
No, the film looked great for like what it was.
For the first 20-30 minutes, it was a solid, cool.
Yeah, well, I mean, like they obviously spent some money shooting it.
Yeah.
But so Harry's boss leaves Harry in charge, tells him to handle a paper exchange in Istanbul that must be done by a civilian. What?
Yeah.
Because the Russians were uncomfortable with it being spy to spy.
We don't want the Soviets uncomfortable. Lord knows what could happen.
Yeah.
Well,
Yeah,
and they're like
so bizarre.
openly discussing tradecraft and this whole plan, driving out of the embassy parking lot.
Well,
like,
and these are file clerks.
yeah.
Yeah,
Harry's
he's
a file
He's
clerk.
a file clerk.
What am I supposed to do?
Hence the
Just-
paper exchange.
Right?
Yes.
Just stop the first
Yeah, why
American
not send
tourist I
him?
see. You know? Like, here, take these papers to Istanbul.
You'll have fun.
Yeah. like-
Yeah, just find somebody.
and it just so happens.
Anybody.
Anybody.
Yes. Harry asks Woody to do it, giving him
psyched.
a suitcase of papers, handcuffing it to his wrist.
Hey, remember how I saved your life this morning?
Yeah.
Well, I got a job for you.
Yo,
Wear this handcuff.
go to Istanbul, not Constantinople.
Right.
And that's the end of the train. That's the end of the line.
Oh, right,
He's not
the
just
end of
like,
the line.
He's not just like, go to Istanbul. It's, we're in the area. Ride this train for like 2 or 3 days.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. He has to go by
the-
train.
With the thing handcuffed to him.
From
Did he
here-
even give him the keys?
Oh, he gave him the keys.
Okay, he did give him the keys.
He warned him not to lose them.
Yeah. Oh, that's right. Yeah, I thought he was going to lose them
Here's
immediately.
the
I do remember
keys,
that.
Don't lose them.
And he just put it in his pocket.
But
I mean, like,
there was no
you just,
keychain.
but- yeah, no,
Just a
but
single
they're just
key.
going to shoot Harry and take the keys.
But he gave him the keys to the handcuffs. The suitcase wasn't locked.
Yes, that's right.
Oh, yeah.
It kept falling open.
Yeah, that's how he, like, misses being kicked. Yeah. All right. Yeah.
So Harry warns him to blend in. Upon arriving at Istanbul, Woody meets a beautiful Soviet woman named Natalia Rambova.
Wait, you told him, yeah, to blend it. He told him to blend in because he's wearing like a fedora and a trench coat
Yeah.
and sunglasses.
Right.
Let me
And
keep my trench coat. It makes me feel comfortable.
And he's doing a terrible Humphrey Bogart impersonation.
Oh my God,
but-
it's the worst Bogart I've ever heard.
Visually, it looks like he's Michael Caine trying to pretend to be somebody else.
No, he looks like the fourth Doctor.
I was thinking Peter Frampton, man, just like with a haircut.
I love that. Yeah, sorry. Oh, yeah, that was it. And one of her first lines is like, I believe we have something to give each other. And all I could think was gonorrhea. Right?
But doesn't he say, I'm a man and you're a woman?
And you're a
like,
woman.
dog, the documents.
Right.
Come on.
Natalia Rambova claims she is a Soviet civilian with whom the exchange is supposed to take place. Woody does not tell Natalia his real name and instead fabricates his identity to her as a top American agent codenamed Condorman. During the encounter,
He orders an Istanbul Express,
Yeah.
which is what she was drinking. Just like, I'll have what she's having.
Fiery drink.
And he says, make it a double. And the waiter says, oh, nobody's ordered a double. Then make it a triple.
Yeah, that was funny.
And apparently, yeah, that was funny. And it comes on fire, and he blows it out. Oh, no, he doesn't blow it out. He has to put his hat over it because he can't blow it out.
yeah,
Right.
It has that much alcohol in it, and it causes him to breathe fire.
yeah. Well, the fumes. He exhales onto a candle.
Oh, I
and
see.
the fumes cause the candle to have a
I see.
flamethrower
I
effect.
thought it was the same.
Yeah.
Yeah. And he
That
calls
was cool.
himself the vulture of the Western world.
Vulture of the Western world, yeah.
Condorman, the vulture of the
Now,
Western
they're very
world.
large birds, but
I thought the vulture
are they
was the vulture of everywhere.
right.
Right.
And the
Exactly.
condor
Condors are separate.
was a different bird.
Right.
Yeah.
It's related.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's a related bird, but yeah, I guess.
Oh, what a weird moniker.
Well, it's like
You get condors in California, the California condor, and Peru.
Well, okay,
the
they're related,
Andes.
but I mean that's like saying like I'm the turkey, the chicken of the Western
right.
They have them in Peru? Then maybe this movie
Let me
was
write that
based
down.
on the Simon and Garfunkel song El Condor Pasa. If Peru, I see a connection.
Was that a song that they wrote for the movie? Is that like, was there a whole like monologue
It
sequence?
came out of
or-
retirement.
It did not appear in the movie, sadly.
I'd rather be a condor.
Than a whale.
Yeah, okay, yeah. All right, so during the encounter, Woody fends off a group of would-be assassins and saves Natalia's life. by sheer luck before accomplishing
That's awkward foo, my friend. That is experience.
Oh,
There's
yeah,
only one way to be that awkward.
That's some early Jackie Chan stuff going on there.
That was some drunken master style.
Yeah. It's just like blushing the whole time and
one drink off of the Istanbul Express.
Like, oh, my lifts are tall. Whoops. This suitcase is heavy. It's great.
It's like, I'm going to put him on my may try to avoid list. Must try to avoid list.
You have a list of that?
It was before Yelp. Yeah. So he's like, I'm going to write a bad Yelp review of this place.
Try to avoid them.
This is going to go on my try to avoid list.
No, try.
Sometimes you just wind up in Istanbul, man.
I may not be able to avoid this restaurant.
Right.
If I'm in Istanbul.
You're like that place in Istanbul, the Dairy Queen.
I got a couple of days. I'm just going to hit the train. I'll be back, you know.
Natalia is impressed and kisses him before she leaves with the papers. Back in Moscow, Natalia meets with her lover/boss, Krakow.
Krakow.
That's even better.
Krakow. Typo. Krakow.
Krakow.
Is Krakow better?
I don't know.
Krakow's not better.
Krakow.
Right, Krakow.
She tells him that Condorman was very impressive, and Krakow says he is good, or he is glad she is unhurt, but he's not taking her on a new assignment. He says she needs some re-education. Back in Paris, Woody sketches Natalia, puts her in his comic, and calls her Laser Lady.
Right. Which let's back up a little bit. She better be able to shoot lasers because he don't write nothing that can't happen in real life.
It ain't real. It don't go in. Yeah. At the CIA, Harry is confronted by his boss, who asks him about Condorman.
Oh, there was talk of another character named Sponge Man.
Oh, and
real brief. I
didn't catch that.
Yeah, and there was another one, something boy, like Bomber Boy or something.
Later, it's Gopher Boy.
Gopher Boy. So what
is that? Harry? I think Harry is Gopher Boy.
Harry might be Gopher Boy.
Because
or is he Sponge Man?
Natalia or whatever, she asks him, who is Gopher Boy? And he just gives her this look, and I think he realizes,
shit.
I'm Gopher Boy. I've been Gopher Boy this whole time. Woody's nuts. This is further on in the movie. This is the serious arc, though, because Harry has the longest pedigree out of everybody in this movie.
Well, yeah, no, Harry's an actual CIA agent.
Yeah.
Like, he's the only one.
He's a file clerk, but he comes into his own.
Yeah, he really does blossom. Yeah, somebody says.
He's no Harrison Ford, but he'll do.
Yeah, well, I mean, he's a werewolf. So at the CIA, Harry's confronted by his boss, who asks him about Condorman. Harry is told that there's a Russian agent that wants to defect, who insists on meeting only Condorman. He tells Harry to figure out which agent it is.
He also explains comics to that guy, like what they are.
Donald Duck, Popeye, Superman. That's where that happened.
Was that for the audience?
Disney's investing some money in this idea. If you've never heard of Popeye or Superman, tune in to Disney. We'll be presenting these films.
Except Popeye was not a Disney film.
Well, was it out of the the 50-year rule? No, probably not. They probably paid money to save Popeye.
Just a year or two earlier, the Robin Williams Popeye film was made.
Oh man,
Robert Altman's Popeye.
Yeah.
Not a superhero, folks.
Not a superhero.
Just eats too much spinach.
I don't think Popeye counts as a superhero.
I'm going to rewatch it, though, now that we're talking about it.
Yeah, he's not. He's not a superhero.
Woody is then notified by Harry that his boss, Russ, that he is to escort a defecting Soviet agent known as the Bear. Woody refuses to do the job, but when Russ reveals that the Bear is Natalia, he agrees to do it on the condition that the CIA provides him with all gadgetry based on his designs.
Well, to deliver papers.
And he's the paper delivery guy. And he says to Woody, a little cloak, a little dagger, like trying to coax him into it.
Right.
Man, the CIA.
Right.
Just everybody.
Just try it one time, man.
Like, yeah, I just got these papers to deliver. We can't use the mail.
like coaxing him in, like just try it. It's just a little international espionage. What, aren't you cool?
Yeah, everybody's doing it.
This Russian is defecting. We can't use the bus.
I saw you drew a picture of her, Woody. You should go get her. She wants to come with you.
He did.
Like, ugh.
You know he masturbated to that drawing later.
That's why he drew it.
But yeah, those are just the ones that he left out in the open.
Yeah.
Oh, that wasn't white out on the paper.
Exactly. Secret condor serum.
Blackbird person. What is this?
Woody meets up with Natalia, disguised as gypsies, which...
In Yugoslavia.
I hope you don't mind the gypsy disguise. They outright say it.
No, it's not left up to audience interpretation. They're like, we are gypsies in disguise. In the former Yugoslavia, where they're found out by Krakov's henchmen. Woody fends him off with a cane gun. And
he doesn't know how to shoot.
The machine gun cane.
Yeah.
It's so dangerous. Such a bad idea.
Because he is not a safe.
Did he draw that?
He has never had a firearm handling class.
When he drew it, it didn't have the hair trigger that it had when they made it.
Right.
Yeah.
It was outsourced.
So bad.
Yeah, but he says he doesn't carry guns because the sound scares him.
Yeah.
And I guess that's what happened. He got scared of his own gun. Did he forget that he had a gun cane that he drew for the CIA to design for him?
It wasn't an honorable reason.
I have so many questions.
It wasn't like, a fair fight. It scares me.
If he found a silencer, his life could have gone in a totally
He got a blank check from the CIA and
he
made
never
a
drew a
cane
silencer.
gun.
He couldn't use it.
Right?
Hey everyone, Thoreau from Harmless Phosphorescence here with a message for you. Yes, you listening to me talk. Did you know that the Harmless Entertainment Network has a Patreon? That's right, you can join in and get extra fun like a Star Wars Harmless Phosphorescence miniseries, a patron-only Q&A roundtable episode. We have great bonus episodes of audio dramas like Attention Hellmart Shoppers in 1994. But not only that, if we reach our next patron goal, we'll do a monthly bonus Harmless Phosphorescence about a patron-chosen non-superhero movie. Plus, there are great new shows on the way, and if you're a patron, you'll get to hear them first. Head over to patreon.com/harmless entertainment today, and for the price of a cup of coffee, you too can join our super awesome superhero club. Now, back to the show.
So wait, this is what I don't get. So first off, he has to. So he only puts things in his comics that are real, but then later on he insists that the CIA makes real the things from his comics.
Yes, exactly. Yeah.
Well, because I'm sure they were like cardboard and it was schizophrenia the other half, or something.
Did he make this car
he's
originally?
Clearly ill.
He
jumped off the Eiffel Tower,
right?
Dressed as a bird. This man is not okay.
And his attitude was, if I cannot do it, then Condorman can't do it. Not so much like believable or disbelief. It's like, if I'm not able to do it, if I am not able.
Okay, me, a comic writer, not someone who's trained for years in like combat and physical activity.
Was he like a CIA, what do they call those guys that they used to give him a bunch of acid and make him watch the swirling?
Oh, right.
Project
Orange.
MK, yeah,
MK Ultra. Was it just an MK Ultra plant?
Yeah, maybe.
Just loose in France. They're like, yeah, just draw comics. Just draw.
Stare at this goat for a while.
Right? Yeah, seriously. Eventually, just like, he might be useful now.
Woody and Natalia make their escape in a gypsy wagon.
And he asks her dating status.
Right, yeah. He has Krakov as her husband and is relieved when she says she's a free single woman.
That is the greatest line in this whole movie. This Russian woman defecting to become a free single woman, but not. She's here for Woody.
Yeah. No, obviously falling in love with Condorman is what pushed her over the edge.
All according to the CIA's plan.
Meanwhile, in Monte Carlo, Krakov is angry that they got away, but insists he wants Natalia alive. We meet the homicidal glass-eyed assassin, Morovich.
That's not a glass.
That was chrome.
That was a pinball from a pinball machine.
Yeah.
Him and the what they call the Prognovich.
Prognovich.
Yeah.
All black 911 Porsches.
KGB pursuit squadron. Yeah, they show up to that tiny little Yugoslavian town in their bully cars.
Yeah. I mean,
all the Porsches, you mean?
Yeah.
There was like a minute where maybe it was just 30 seconds. It felt like a long time. But the villagers were just silently staring at each other.
One of the most interesting scenes in the whole movie.
Waiting for the cars to come. And
Right, they had an eerie,
Yeah, they hear the cars and then the bells.
So wait,
the bells sound and they all run
and
inside.
then the panic.
So how often do these cars come to this village?
Yeah,
a lot.
Prognovic is like a serious issue in Yugoslavia, bro. I mean, you see those black 911s and you're just like, oh no, here they come.
Yeah,
frozen.
They're the village bullies.
Yeah.
That was like a
just as one village.
yeah. That was like a Blazing Saddles village in Yugoslavia, man.
Or Three Amigos.
Yeah, seriously.
Just keeps terrorizing that.
Blazing Bear Hide. Oh.
And didn't the glass-eyed villain have a phone like Batman did? Wasn't there a red phone or something?
Oh, in the car?
Yeah.
I think
I think he ended up pulling over and calling, and then he drove. Well, that's he's number 5 of this Prognovic that are chasing them.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
And they all die except for Morovich, Chromai.
Yeah. So
Like-
so Woody and Natalia come through the town. The danger Porsches give chase.
Danger Porsches.
I mean, Black 911 is kind of scary if you're, depending on who you are. It's 2019, guys. Sorry.
Yeah, right.
Too late.
Sorry.
No, I'm just trying to change from too soon. I want to get another thing going.
It might be. That's a whole other podcast for that.
They give chase, and Woody presses a lever. Wait. And he and Natalia are lowered into the Condormobile.
Well, sorry.
Yeah, no, go ahead.
It was a great chase scene.
It was. Yeah.
I guess the guy who choreographed it had choreographed some James Bond chase scenes, and shoot, there was another one, but it was pretty impressive.
Yeah, no, the chase scenes are great.
It reminded me of Ronin. Did you see that?
Oh, yeah.
Robert De Niro movie? Yeah.
Lots of moving shots of cars moving.
Yeah, no, the car chase scenes were great. There was actually a quote by him where he said, "I can't tell anyone my car chase secrets because it's an art form and I don't want anyone to steal my art."
All right. It's respectable.
Yeah. So the Condormobile bursts forth from the gypsy wagon. Yeah, we forgot where we were there.
Yeah.
Morovich and the assassins evade Woody's lasers and try to run him off the road.
Lasers and missiles.
Lasers and missiles.
They built all those things to spec just for that guy.
I know.
For this
And there's a point where he's like just hitting buttons, and she says, "What are you doing?" He's like, "I'm hitting more buttons." He's like, "You don't even know how to work it."
Of course he doesn't. Why? How would he?
MK Ultra, folks. That's all I'm saying.
Talk about failing up.
Yeah, he was a savant for sure in that thing.
He definitely was.
He killed the Russian hit squad in like 2 minutes.
Yeah.
Okay, so that he takes out 2 with fire. And
He just lights the hood on fire.
Yeah, he just lights them on fire and they crash. And then he causes the other 2. He makes his car have like a ramp, and they jump over into
one.
each
One
other.
jumps over the front of him and lands on the other one. In the back, behind
because
him.
that car was in front of them coming the other direction.
Yeah, how they got over there to come back.
Well, it was later shown Morovich was driving an all-terrain Porsche.
Yeah.
An ATP.
Yeah, no, he's just that good of a driver, man. He's just he just drive that Porsche through anything.
Yeah, that cartoonist was impressive driving under a semi-truck. Like,
yeah, he timed that perfectly, man.
For a cartoonist.
They were driving down a mountain, so the one car just like jumped down a level and then turned around to come back and drive up the ramp car.
Oh, yeah.
Or something.
So
because it was all downhill twisty.
Yeah.
What is
So there's a lot of like the logic of this film.
great action in this movie that's crazy in the car scenes and things like that. What if it hadn't been the actor who portrayed Woody, and what if they had actually got somebody? Who, like, what if John Ritter was in this movie? Like,
wow,
would
that
this
would
have been a different
interesting.
movie?
Oh yeah,
You know,
That
what
would
I'm
have been
saying?
better,
Like,
yeah.
Yeah,
Like,
Ritter-
if they had gotten someone with some name,
Because this guy is hard to watch.
he's hard to watch.
terrible.
Like
He
his
is
acting
fucking
is
terrible.
bad. Like he
Yeah.
was the worst part of the movie.
Yeah,
but he was
easily.
kind of like. It was weird. It was like watching The Room almost. Like it was
Right,
so
yeah,
bad.
yeah. They never justified what he was saying or doing
Like,
ever.
yeah, like, oh, yeah, there's so many other things
Yeah,
in this
no,
movie that
well,
happen that are, oh.
I apologize for going so far back, but you said
Yeah.
John Ritter, and that reminded me. I forgot. James Hampton, Harry Oslo, was in Sling Blade with John Ritter.
Oh, full circle.
Oh
Full
yeah, he
circle.
sure was. Yeah.
Yeah.
He ran the asylum that. Yes.
Man, they should have pushed him to get John Ritter in on this movie. Man.
That would have been
To follow up on, they could have just made it a Captain Adventure movie.
it would have been a
International
much-
hero at large.
It would have been a much
Imagine
better
that.
film.
Yeah, sorry to divert
and-
this
and-
whole thing,
well,
but like I'm just thinking, like I'm thinking Harrison Ford or Robert Redford, of course, but like
Anybody with
fucking John
any-
Ritter's better than the. What's this guy's name again?
Crawford.
Yeah, something. It's Michael Crawford. And
Michael
he has a
Crawford.
pretty good resume.
Yeah.
He did a lot of stage, but
But
That
this
doesn't make him
is-
better.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I mean, he'd have made a great Don Quixote.
yeah.
But this, he was a superhero. It was just too awkward.
Yeah, he was terribly miscast. Terribly miscast.
Well, he wasn't a superhero. He's a comic book writer.
But he became one.
But
I mean, he's.
Did he?
I didn't buy him. Well, he did.
I mean, he killed a bunch of Russian.
He did a lot of stuff.
That were after
How
him
could you
specifically.
drive the Condormobile like that?
Yeah,
I
seriously.
suppose I couldn't.
And then
Man, he can freaking fly,
yeah.
and he just keeps trying to fly, even though it doesn't work.
So, well, okay.
Okay, back to MK Ultra. That's all I'm saying.
So they're chased by Morovich and finally escape by driving off a pier. As it turns out, the Condormobile has also turned into a speedboat.
Which he
Yes.
wasn't surprised by.
Hovercraft or
Yeah.
hydrofoil.
Hydrofoil.
Yeah, he
became
knew how to
hydrofoil in
activate
front of
that
my eyes.
somehow.
Even though he didn't know what any of the buttons did.
And that dock was like 500 yards long.
Oh,
Yeah.
So long for those to inflate. And get
They could have put wings on it at that point.
Yeah.
You know?
They could have just, the dock really could have gone all the way around Spain to Paris.
And who has a hunch that their car will work fine as a boat? They'll just give it a shot. He didn't know.
Call me crazy.
I think he'll do it.
It's like LBJ and his thing driving it
Yeah,
into the lake.
that's right.
Oh, God, yeah. All right. So in Italy, Woody and Natalia hide in a barn where they're arrested by the Italian police. It turns out Krokov has planted a story in the press that they're wanted criminals.
Did Krokov, though, or did the CIA
Was it Blagojevich? I can't keep track of all these
Harry
Russian
shows
names.
up. Harry shows up.
Well, yeah, Harry-
and not the Russians. You'd
Yeah.
think that they would have shown up first.
Well, exactly. And what? Yeah. Actually, how did?
yeah. I
did
think
Harry
that the
know where they
CIA
are?
put that story out, and not the Russians.
Yeah.
Well, they're rescued by.
Did he say he did that? Did Krokov say?
Well, no. Woody says it must have been Krokov.
But I don't think it was.
Who knew
I am
this movie?
unpeeling this MK Ultra thing as we talk, man. I swear
This
to
film has
God.
so many layers.
And while they're in jail, this is where Woody says, "Gopher boy, what would you do now?"
Gopher boy.
Harry
Harry
is
shows
Gopher
up.
Boy.
WWGBD.
What would Gopher Boy do
now?
Gopher boy to the rescue. I don't see you. Don't worry, I'm underground. But I need your help. I'm working. Don't worry.
I brought you some papers.
What would Gopher Boy do? Dig. That's what Gopher Boy would do.
He put in. I swear, I think it was the CIA, man.
Yeah.
I could see it. I can see it.
Like,
I think that may be a layer.
They just got him in one place. It's
weird.
Like, you stay there. We'll spring you
They're rescued by Harry,
in disguise.
disguised as an Italian inspector.
Was that the first disguise? The others come later, right?
Yeah, the other stuff.
Oh, yeah.
So
Okay.
he's wearing
I don't wanna
prosthetic. He's to be Italian. He's
Yeah.
wearing prosthetics.
Yeah.
That file clerk.
yeah.
So he's not recognized.
It's not the only
Who
prosthetic.
would know him in Italy?
Like he's from that town or something. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, these small town Italian policemen are gonna be like, "Wait a minute, you're Harry, the CIA file clerk."
I knew it.
So they get sprung from jail, and then the Russians immediately show up.
Yeah, well first, they handcuff all three of themselves together for hijinks.
Yeah.
yeah,
It's like
that's
Butch
right.
Cassidy and the Sundance Kid or something.
Yeah.
Like,
Oh, brother, where art thou?
Yeah. They're given chase by Morovich. They ditch the car and run. They have trouble being handcuffed together, so they hide at a wedding.
in the wedding.
In the
Just
wedding.
like in the middle.
Yeah, they just sit down in the wedding.
In which Natalia ends up ruining said wedding.
She jumps up and says, I object. I'm already married to this man.
That lady's definitely a spy.
Yeah.
You know?
But it was brilliant because she got the entire wedding party to attack the pursuing Russians.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, it worked. It worked.
but-
Well, she's the only one who's actually a spy. Let's remember
That's
that.
right.
True, yeah.
But that poor family.
Right there. Yeah,
That
their
guy,
lives were ruined.
that guy is forever going to be ostracized by everybody at that wedding.
And this is Italy.
Yeah.
Like they're not going to forget.
No grandma's crying at his funeral. Yeah.
Their feet are getting spit on for the rest of their lives.
Forever.
Yeah, that was so dark.
Yeah,
so
it was.
dark.
Chaos erupts and they make their getaway. Meanwhile, Krakow is mad, but he says that all of Condorman's secrets can be found in the comics he writes, including where he can be found when they cross the Alps.
Yeah.
Apparently, there's a character in the comic book called Hannibal Smith.
In the Condorman comic book?
In the Condorman comic book that Krakow and Morovich are reading.
Huh.
Morovich says, he's like, read this. He's like, I blah, 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 Hannibal Smith. He's like, that's right.
What is that?
Hannibal Smith from the A-Team.
Oh.
This is 2 years prior to the
Oh.
A-Team.
Was Hannibal's
I forgot
last
Hannibal's
name
last name.
Smith?
No. In the A-Team, it was Hannibal Smith. Yes.
Right.
But,
Okay, that's what.
but the original Hannibal.
Not Hannibal who took the elephants over the Alps.
Oh.
Hannibal of Carthage, his last name was not Smith.
It was Jenkins.
Except when he tried
that's
to
how
apply
they-
for that credit card.
Hannibal Jenkins.
But yes, Hannibal from the A-Team, his last name was Smith.
Oh, man.
All right.
Yeah.
Interesting.
Didn't we know? I thought we didn't know any of their names since they were so,
Right?
elite.
Besides Mr. T, I don't know.
B.A.
Oh yeah,
Baracus.
Baracus is his last name. Yeah.
Templeton Peck, Mad Dog Murdoch.
Up on the year 18.
You're right. I guess I was
Damn.
watching a totally different show.
We knew
I was like,
It was always on in the background. I don't know.
I was like Mr. T and the rest.
Yeah.
And the rest.
Mr. T and the guys in that van.
A-teams.
maybe I was watching Hollywood Squares. I can't remember.
In Switzerland, they check into a hotel where Natalia discovers the truth about Woody when a group of children recognize her from the comic books.
Because somehow he's already published the Laser Lady issue.
Right.
He's
While
been
he was
putting him
doing
out
it.
the whole time.
Yeah.
He's just mailing them in to his like publisher in Paris.
He is
Just every night
prolific.
he's drawing.
Well,
Yeah.
And
that
he's-
is his job.
He's publishing his plans to save this woman.
Across the
And
Alps.
where
Across the Alps,
he'll
yeah.
be.
His superpower is to see the future.
Right.
and publish it.
and write it into a comic book.
MK Ultra, folks.
And she's totally cool with it. Apparently, she's just because later that night they dine and dance, and Harry picks up a lady.
Yeah, a ruble for your thoughts.
Yeah. Clever line there.
And Natalia confesses she's in love with Woody despite him lying to her.
And when they get to America, she wants him to. She wants to be able to call him so he can come over and be democratic with her.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
What? When I love that the pinball villain sometimes wears the patch.
Yeah.
So he's just like,
Yeah.
why do you have the patch? Well, I need it for driving.
Yeah. Well, he doesn't wear it when he drives,
yeah,
though.
That's his walking around patch.
Yeah.
Well,
That's right.
There was a time he was wearing the helmet in the Porsche, and he pulls up next to them and turns and flips up the visor.
He's just looking away. He's just like, I'm not even going to look at you. And they're thinking, oh, he's so scary.
He flips up his visor and turns to look at them, and like, Natalia?
He can see through it. It's just really cloudy.
Very cloudy.
He got, yeah. Ugh.
They take a funicular over a mountain where Morovich takes Woody and Harry out of commission.
A custom-made
funicular.
A funicular.
Yeah, those things are crazy.
They made 3 of them, and because Harry was afraid of heights, he had to ride with Woody, so they left one of the custom-made funiculars behind. I thought someone was going to chase him.
That's what I thought, too. I was like, we're going to have a really slow jet race up this hill. They kind of shook me, though. I was like, I didn't see them getting shot down.
Yeah, no,
coming.
that was
it happens.
That was a twist.
And Woody dies and the movie ends.
I just realized I just realized that Laser Lady could also fit into his realistic, policy, because I think isn't her power LASIK surgery? That's a thing.
She's an optometrist.
Yeah. LASIK lady.
Sorry. They capture Natalia and retreat to their headquarters in Monte Carlo.
This was yet another, Mr. Bill moment.
Yeah.
The dummies falling from.
Oh God! Yeah, that was.
Oh no! It was missing a Wilhelm scream.
It was,
but they were the good guys, so they couldn't put one on there.
I did not catch a Wilhelm anywhere in this film.
There was but it was not a Wilhelm scream. But it was like them doing one.
But they had the Goofy scream earlier.
Yeah. Yeah. Oh, so that was
when one of the cars
crashed.
Version. Yeah.
And when you're referring to, you mean like making the image from the painting? What does that mean?
Oh no! The Wilhelm scream. The famous
Wilhelm
scream.
Yeah.
From not the painting.
Oh.
The scream. So like the back in the headquarters in Monte Carlo, where Krakow tells her that she will go back to Russia and continue to work for him. And to save her life, she must continue to pretend to be his girlfriend in front of their superiors.
Yeah, that's right.
He's like an Archer character or something. He's so over the top. Not only am I your boss, you are my girlfriend now.
Was that really a Russian? Did anyone have actually a Russian accent?
It was like my Russian accent. It's terrible. It's trash. Like, it was bad. Krokov.
It was terrible.
Yeah.
All of the Russian accents were bad.
His hair was bad.
Yeah.
His hair was really bad.
Oh, God, yeah. Still in Switzerland, Woody is told that the mission is a failure, and he and Harry are ordered to return to Paris. But Woody asks Harry for 2 more days to conduct an operation to rescue Natalia. Disguising themselves as Arab sheiks.
A la Alec Guinness in Lawrence of Arabia.
They've been called back to Paris by the CIA.
Yes.
And Woody says, just tell him you missed me. But have him go get me this stuff that I need to complete my mission. I'm sorry.
Yeah, no, they obviously got a ton more like gadgets and supplies.
So much.
Okay, so and prosthetics, more prosthetics. They the Arab sheik disguise was awful.
Yeah.
There was a weird moment between Harry and Woody before they got there. Harry, you're beautiful. Oh. And Woody, would you stop? People will talk.
Right, yes, yeah.
That was a weird moment. That went by so fast.
Yeah.
But for Disney,
it was totally weird.
I was like, wait.
Yeah, no.
Hey,
I mean, it was funny. It was funny,
interesting.
But no, it was.
Well, Harry exudes sexual energy, so there has to be.
It was like Kevin Kline in and out kind of dated gay humor kind of thing. But it was a moment there. It was this weird beat of like,
oh yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, no, it was fun. No, those two. It was a call me by your name moment.
Yeah. You guys aren't very masculine. Are you gay? Moving on.
Not that there's anything wrong with
that. There's anything wrong with that.
No, seriously, but the raw sexual chemistry it was out of control.
Okay, just the 2 of them on the, what did you call it again? The
funicular.
The funicular.
Which I only know that because of a Dr. Seuss book where there were funicular goats.
Okay, I just got to say, this movie would fit perfectly into the Archer universe. I kept thinking that once they fell off the Alps and all that stuff, but
honestly, Archer's more realistic
and somehow less racist. Like somehow the freaking wealthy Bedouin costume with the
bad.
Literally though, it's just Alec Guinness
It was bad.
A rehash, but worse somehow.
Yeah, so much worse because it's played for laughs.
I mean, the orange red skin with the
makeup,
prosthetic nose and everything.
Woody and Harry created a diversion at the Monte Carlo casino to recover Natalia from Krokov and his men. Natalia tells Woody that she's not really defecting in an attempt to save him from Krokov, but she gives him a hint that she really wants to be saved, and they blow the place up.
Wait, didn't Woody just gamble? Like,
well, yeah,
$1 million.
Was that real or was that like?
I'm pretty sure that
tell Krokov they did
some sort of ruse.
I assumed that they did because Krokov, it was his party.
The CIA won't mind, will they? No.
Right? Like he's KGB, they should know like what's going on at their tables. If somebody's lying, you would think he'd be aware of that.
Was that his casino?
I thought that they were at his party at the casino.
Well, no. The party and the casino were separate venues.
Yeah, they went to the casino. And I think the party was the next day, wasn't it? Because the casino was at night.
Yeah, I'm getting these mixed up. But
they went to the casino to. They said something about the house limit. What was that? Took the house to the limit for 5 million francs. I guess that was the house limit. But did they actually gamble that much? Did they actually make that much money off the casino, or did the CIA
pay the casino
for this
Krokov?
ruse? But they had like all the guys bringing out the suitcases full of cash.
This is a really expensive spy plot,
and that the CIA did not sign off on.
Harry's the paper guy. He just signs the checks, I guess.
Oh yeah, there you
go. Harry's going to be in trouble.
He knows
later.
everybody's signature. The CIA.
Krokov just happened to be hanging around this casino to see this ruse, where they portray this Arab as the 7th richest person in the world.
Yeah.
He struck oil next to Jamie Farr, the other Arab.
He was just a he was just a Bedouin and struck oil. Now he's the 7th richest person in the world. It's like, oh, make sure he comes to my party tomorrow.
That's right. Yeah, that's right.
So for a Russian secret agent, Krokov spends a lot of time being a rich Monte Carlo supervillain.
Yeah.
He's just like a Russian secret agent.
Yeah.
This is like peak Cold War weird. The Soviets are everywhere kind of thing.
Yeah, and spies were just very popular in comedy and drama.
Yeah.
So okay,
that was a weird place for him to be.
It was.
Yeah.
Woody grabs Natalia, and as Harry drives away in a Rolls Royce, Woody uses an improved version of his Condorman suit to fly himself and Natalia out of the casino and onto the pier, where Harry spends a long time pulling him in after his Rolls Royce rolls into the ocean.
I'm disappointed that we didn't get to hear Natalia's mine song when she was flying with Condorman.
Henry Mancini was still working on it.
He inspires nothing in her.
Right.
That was her mine song was the theme song. Condorman.
I get Condorman. That's just what she had going through her head
I'm
the
your
whole time.
Condor fan.
There was not nearly enough thrust for the two of them to be flying. And like Siskel said, clearly you could see the wires.
Oh my god, just the very slow wings going up and down, lazily flapping.
They should have not had him flap, and they should have just done some trickery like they do with Superman to make him look faster.
And the Russians are shooting at them from the balcony while they're slowly floating away.
There's like a butterfly on the breeze.
Yeah, they're walking like a slow old person's walking pace. Like, Grandma, would you please move? I'm trying to get through here.
They're just lucky that the Russians are such terrible shots. Can't hit anything.
Well, to be fair, they spend all their time in Monte Carlo drinking and gambling.
Right.
Yeah, true. They're like, oh shit, I haven't seen the sun in a couple of days. Well, me shoot these guys with my handgun.
He's just a cartoonist.
Right? It's true. All of those cartoons have been tested in the field.
Right.
No.
Yeah.
The
Or
CIA just made it.
he's just high on acid.
And his lycra suit with the zipper in the back.
With that interesting pattern on it.
Oh, God.
Not to mention color. Yellow and brown.
Well, and when he lands and puts on a matching Condorman motorcycle helmet.
Right. Why do so many people on the boats have helmets on? Is that like
do you wear a helmet in a boat?
Well, and the Rolls Royce. We forgot about this. Harry
Well, yeah, he lets it roll into the
Loses
ocean.
it into the ocean.
So that's going to cost the CIA.
Because he assumed every car could swim like his Condorman.
Has he never driven a car before? You know, like just put the handbrake on, dude. If you're gonna leave the door open or something,
he did. He left the door open. He just jumped out and ran off. I don't think he
left it in neutral,
right? In neutral, like you would
on a pier.
He just does papers and has a bunch of weird costumes.
He's
in his car.
no cartoonist.
Yeah,
right.
So the trio make their getaway aboard the Condor boat.
Which, sadly, they didn't call the Condor boat.
Right.
No, sadly.
It wasn't labeled either.
Right, it should have been labeled. Exactly.
they were renting it or leasing
He had his
it. I'm
many
sure.
Batman gadgets.
They managed to destroy Krokow's speedboats, who followed them. They destroyed them with lasers.
With his giant laser that doesn't
Laser
exist.
Girl shoots.
But no, that Condorman shoots. But he has the line. I thought I'd never get to use this baby, and then proceeds to shoot and kill all these Russian boatsters.
They're just bad guys, you know.
This cartoonist has developed a serious bloodlust.
Right, yeah,
Also-
exactly. He's been thinking about this for a while.
This is just like off of some European coastline. Like there would be police
Monaco,
and
yeah.
military
Monaco, yeah.
everywhere.
It's one of the wealthiest
like,
countries, yeah.
Yeah, you'd have all kinds of helicopters flying. Like there's a guy with a laser gun in the bay.
The few shots that like show the coastline, there's people just standing.
Like, wow, look at that. Is that a laser gun? Wow.
And the laser beams are bouncing off of the water.
Yeah.
Because we all know water deflects light.
Deflecting towards Monte Carlo.
Super dangerous.
I wonder how many civilians got killed in this
You know who
boat
doesn't
chase.
wonder?
Princess Grace.
The CIA.
Princess Grace of Monaco.
Or Condorman. No guilt on either of their parts.
No, the
CIA didn't sign off on any of this.
They are clearly sociopaths.
Yeah, they just give them money. Like, we didn't sign anything. Here, take this bag. It's full of money.
Right.
But they have a giant CIA helicopter waiting for them further out in the bay.
That's true.
Yes, where they managed to destroy Krakow's speedboats with the laser. Krakow and Morovich pursue them in their own speedboat. And when the Condor boat reaches its pickup point, and Morovich shows he's intent on ramming it. And when Krakow orders him to stop and he doesn't, Krakow just jumps off.
Yep. Abandoned ship.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah, that's not going to fly to the Soviets. They're like, what happened? Mm-hmm. I fell. I don't know.
Water was...
We were going so fast, I don't even remember.
It was all a blur.
And Morovich narrowly misses the boat as it's being lifted, and then rams into the cliff,
the coastline,
which
yes.
would have been a great spot for a Wilhelm screen.
Yeah, that's true. That was the opportunity.
That would have been the place.
Yeah, and that was like that. That's the same type of helicopter as Marine One, the same kind that President flies in. That's a
Heavy
giant
duty.
helicopter.
Yeah.
So
Well, I mean, you need that for a laser boat.
to lift a boat out of the water. Who's flying that? Was that Harry flying the helicopter? Or did
No, Harry was in the boat.
Oh, Harry was in the boat with him.
Yeah.
Who
was it? Yeah, because the CIA doesn't
flying
know
this
they're there.
helicopter?
For a 3-hour tour.
Someone else in the CIA.
What was the other superhero's name? That didn't have
Gopher
not
Bomb.
Gopher Boy. There was another one.
Spongeman?
Spongeman.
Spongeman was in the helicopter.
Not Bob, but
Man, that's-
Sponge Man.
I don't even know what that power is, but it's terrible.
To fly helicopters and absorb water.
Yeah.
Spongeman and Barnacle Boy.
He's like, and I'm all full of water.
Days later, Woody, Natalia, and Harry are at Dodger Stadium in Los Angeles.
First time in the United States, even though in the first scene, Condorman declares that Condorman is American.
But he
He's all
lives in
about-
Paris.
Yes. Yeah.
But yeah.
Oh, no, he doesn't live in Paris.
He's visiting Harry.
He lived in New York or something
I
like
thought he
that.
lived in
but
Paris,
No,
though.
he was visiting Harry in Paris.
I must have missed that. Did he bring all that stuff on the plane, or
yeah,
did
I
he
was
take
gonna
a
say
boat?
he's been there a while. It seemed.
Yeah. I thought he was writing his
No.
comic, and
Well,
No,
you,
he probably
you
was,
know the
yeah.
life of a cartoon.
Right.
Right.
Just bam, bam,
jet
night after
setting.
night. A different
I mean, like,
woman.
I think
a
of
different
Watterson
set
just
of
like hiding in a
pencils every-
cabin for 10 years doing, Calvin and Hobbes every day, like,
Right.
whereas Woody is touring the world, you know, fighting crime.
Bill Watterson's like, if I can't do it, I'm not putting it in this comic strip. So the first 10 years, he's just talking to a stuffed animal. Something happened.
Occasionally flying an F-16 with a T-Rex on his head. You know?
Exactly. It's got to be real. The kids need real.
They need to know that you can really do this.
It killed Gary Larson.
Yeah, seriously.
exactly. Yeah.
A couple of times.
You found dinosaurs.
They see the Goodyear blimp flash a sign welcoming Natalia to the United States.
Welcome, Natalia, to the USA.
Yes. Our secret Russian defective spy.
Yeah, wow. We've come a long way in our immigration attitude.
We bloodied the Russians' nose, and now it's an open secret. Nobody needs to hide that Natalia's here.
It's like, you really got at those Russians by screwing up that paper exchange you had to do to begin with.
All he had to do was give her papers and leave.
Stick it to the Ruskies.
The only reason that Natalia and Woody looked up at the Goodyear blimp was because Harry told them to. Nobody else was looking at the Goodyear blimp at that point.
Well, nobody looks.
It was a secret message.
A secret Goodyear blimp message.
I know. We'll tell them by blimp.
Old CIA trick, you know.
Yeah.
K-Ultra thing. They go way back.
Yeah.
Aboard the blimp, Russ contacts Harry and has him ask Woody if he's interested in taking Condorman on another assignment.
Because the CIA is on the blimp. They've been in the house the whole time. They're just everywhere.
So I'd like to point out,
And they needed a man of finesse for their next mission.
if there's one thing I think of when I think of Condorman, it's finesse.
The CIA openly operating in the United States over a sporting game.
Right.
This is serious.
Who is Russ again?
He was Harry's boss.
Oh, that was Russ.
Yeah.
Okay, because there was the line like, "If Russ could see me now," and I must not have caught that was his name. I'm like, that was an odd thing to say.
Or was
Out
it?
of
I mean,
context.
it's 2019. You know.
Yeah, Russ.
Oh, I didn't mean like it was just like a character that hadn't been introduced. That's maybe a friend of hers. If Russ can see me now,
Sponge Man.
Yeah, SpongeBob.
So I'd like to point out this movie had a $14 million budget, and the box office is not available publicly. Disney wiped out.
Yeah, it was a loss.
Yeah, it was definitely a loss, but Disney like wiped from the internet however much this made, which I have a feeling was very little.
Yeah.
I mean, worth it though.
Right. It had a 25% on Rotten Tomatoes, 5.8 on IMDb.
That's closer to what I would give it.
Yeah, I consider that generous.
Yeah.
Did anyone remember it from their youth? Did anybody
No.
see it even on cable or whatever?
Maybe
I don't think so.
when I was very young, vaguely somewhere.
The image of Condorman was familiar, but maybe it was the VHS box in the rental store. You know what I mean?
Yeah, that's
like
possible.
I don't know if I saw it earlier. Yeah.
Yeah.
It's weird. It's really out there. It's interesting though to see that because it's Disney's first foray into comic book movies.
Yeah,
Right.
It's their first superhero
And it's a
movie.
huge failure.
It is
Huge.
That reminded me of a tidbit that I looked up.
Yeah.
When Disney acquired the Marvel properties in 2009, there was a executive there at the time that really, really, really wanted Condorman to be in the MCU.
Oh my
man.
God.
And like fought for it.
Condorman. Just every time he comes out, that's his power.
Right.
You know, it's just like, I'm just too busy drawing comics, you guys. I can't come fight Thanos with you. I've got to test out this new wingsuit.
They could make it look really good these days, though.
Right. But will his ethic change or anything? It's
Well, but they've gotta
we
get
could
the
get the
same
stones
actor.
Isn't he
if we
essentially-
can get the stones in
Isn't
real
he
life.
essentially the same powers then as the Falcon?
Right.
Yeah, or the Vulture. Yeah, pretty much.
Yeah,
I
the
mean,
Vulture.
just flying really fucking lame, though. I mean, they just need to, like, come on, man. Just do some trick for the visuals, and it would have been a little bit more satisfying.
Yeah, if they just changed the camera speed a little.
Yeah, just some trick of the eye. It was so painful to watch every time that thing flew or didn't fly.
Yeah, it was bad.
Yeah,
It was really
it seemed dubbed. It's
Yeah.
weird, but it seemed dubbed. It wasn't.
but it seemed it.
The actor was, like, too charismatic, I feel like, almost. Like,
out of nowhere.
Like,
Yeah, for no reason.
you're making me uncomfortable with all of your charisma.
He was in a different movie than everyone else.
Yeah. He was
Easily excited.
possibly a
excitable.
CIA plant, the actor himself. Just Maybe that whole movie was meant to fail. The CIA just paid for the whole thing.
It was to cover up an actual CIA operation.
Oh,
that
like
was
that
worth
Ben Affleck movie.
Argo?
Mallrats? No.
Yeah, and they're just like pretending to be in Yugoslavia, but doing some like covert acts in Yugoslavia.
Exactly.
Wait, is that somebody at the door? No, I'm just kidding. Sorry.
All right, so guys, we are left with just one thing to rank this. We currently have Superman 78 as the best superhero movie ever made that we've watched so far. Will Condorman unseat it? Okay. I think that's a resounding no.
Not enough mescaline, man.
So, certainly...
What do we have at the bottom of the barrel right now?
Our worst movie is Hero at Large.
This was worse than that.
This
Hero
was
at Large. Somehow.
This made that look cute.
I am shocked that we so quickly found a film that is worse than Hero at Large.
Yeah.
It was not a long search.
And that doubled its budget.
You know, if this movie had just been animated... Of like a little guy flying and like saying bonjour.
Like in the beginning, the title.
For 45 minutes, it'd been awesome.
Yeah, that's true.
Come on, Disney.
Could have been an animated movie.
Buy some Marvel properties or something.
That's just crazy enough to work.
Right.
So, Condorman currently sits at number 6. The 6th best superhero movie
the 6th best,
that we've yet watched.
Up to this point in history, sure.
So
let's be nice. We don't want to call anything the worst.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It had its moments.
I mean,
those guys are just trying to make a living.
$14 million to make this.
Yeah, to film in all those locations.
We've got a long way to Catwoman, folks. Or Daredevil, or some of those other terrible
anything
movies.
made between 2000 and 2005 that wasn't X-Men 1 or 2.
Right.
And even those have their moments.
Yeah. So, all right, that is Condorman, currently at number 6. Next week, we jump into Swamp Thing.
Oh, that'll be fun.
That's going to be fun. That's going to be a change.
That's
of
a
pace.
Wes Craven movie.
Yeah. That's going to be interesting. So, nice break from our flying superheroes.
Yeah,
which will be back in 2 weeks.
Yeah.
Yes. With Superman 3, then Supergirl.
Oh, jeez.
But in between Supergirl and Howard the Duck, we've got the Toxic Avenger.
That'll be
awesome.
Yeah. So.
Sure.
All right, thank you, everybody. I am Thoreau Smiley, and the only language I understand is violence.
I'm Josh Cece, and if Russ could see me now.
I'm Brian Lesh, and I'm going to go develop some more comics that I'm going to use in real life like a crazy person.
I'm Alaric Weber. Easy come, easy go.
This is Harmless Phosphorescence. See you next week.
Everybody, I just wanted to give a big shout out to all of our Patreon producers: Alyssa Dent, Hedda Paulson, Katie and Finn Thorpe, Kirsten Reed, Michael Beckworth, and Jojo Birchtree. You too can be a Harmless Phosphorescence producer. Just go to patreon.com/harmlessphosphorescence and pledge $10 or more. Harmless Phosphorescence is a production of the Harmless Entertainment Network. Visit us at patreon.com/harmlessentertainment for early and ad-free new episodes, bonus episodes, and so much more. Follow us on Twitter, Instagram, Reddit, or Facebook to get the latest news, participate in polls, or just let us know what you think about the movies we're watching. You can also send us an email at harmlessentertainment@gmail.com. Thank you for listening, and be sure to tune in next week.